Hello everyone, it's December 2022 and I just wanted to give a quick overview of our fall garden. Most of what you see here was planted from seed in mid-August, with the exception of the tomatoes were starts from summer winds. Here in this first planter, we've got some spinach here that's been partially harvested and then was finished off by a chicken that got loose. Over here we have some other lettuce and various greens. I'm not sure exactly what types they are, but they've grown pretty well, with the exception of the bigger ones here have had some bug pressure and chewed some holes in the leaves. We'd also planted a lettuce or something in this bed that didn't grow, so I've now got garlic in here, which should be harvestable next spring. In the bucket back here, I've got a pepper that I planted last spring that got transplanted when I moved these garden beds in August. And as you can see on the top here, it's still growing some peppers. So it's doing quite well. Go over to this other bed here, and we've got it mostly filled with tomatoes, with a row of corn down the middle. And the tomatoes, the same as our fall garden last year, we planted these from starts in August and growing a lot of tomatoes really well, but they aren't quite turning to red yet. So we have harvested a few off of these. But hopefully we can get more harvested that turn before it gets real cold here. Usually by January we have a freeze, so I assume that would wipe what's left out. But as we go through here, you can see we've got a lot of green tomatoes on the vines here, and they've grown so thick that it's really, most of these are pulling the tomato cages down. There's some smaller cherry tomatoes that are just filled. And as you back over here, we've got more cherry tomatoes. They've just got a ton on them. I'll have to insert a picture. We had some sunflowers that did quite well, but they're kind of looking sickly right now. I think it's past prime for them. This last bed over here has a row of two different varieties of radish that has done real well. Our onions, I think, got rabbits and some other stuff eaten on them. Didn't do too well. We've got a cucumber here that kind of grew out, but then hasn't done much either. And over here in this last corner, we've got some pumpkins that we planted that were kind of an impulse buy. And they've grown out really well, like tons of vines here. We've had some animals, rabbits or something, the birds that have chewed on a few of them. Here's the first one that grew. And as you can see, the animals got to that one. So I put some netting over trying to save this one. It's kind of funny, they look like a watermelon, but it's a pumpkin plant. So I don't know if it'll turn orange or if we'll get a harvest off of this. But it's been an interesting experiment. And we're still getting some flowers off of them as well. So here's another one over here that's growing. And then we finish off, we've got our chickens over here in the grass netted off. And they kind of like to roam. I've got some tree trimmings, I tried to feed them. And then over on this half of the yard, I got an alfalfa clover mix that I planted, so hopefully I can get a harvest off of that to feed the chickens. I'm sure they'll like it if we can get some of that for them. So that's our 2022 garden, fall garden. I went ahead and harvested out some of the radishes and got some pretty good selection. And I've really been harvesting mostly on these and had kind of ignored this variety. Maybe I shouldn't have let them go so long, because look at the absolute monsters I got out of there. The chickens enjoy feasting on all the greens.